For the barbell overhead press, the first thing we're going to do is get set up in a good front rack position. If you haven't already, or if you're not familiar with the front rack position, please check out our other video that goes more in depth on that setup. We're going to unrack it with the front rack position with the elbows forward, and then before the movement, we're actually going to allow the elbows to come down so they're directly underneath the wrists. With the overhead press, this is strict, so there's no use of the hips and legs. They're going to stay extended, and we're going to lock everything in by squeezing our glutes, bracing our abs as we drive that barbell overhead. Now make sure that when you do drive it overhead, you have enough mobility in the shoulders, the upper back, the wrists to make sure, one, that arm gets straight, that you're not finishing here, and also that you have enough room to engage your shoulder blades so that that barbell isn't hanging out up front. That's if your shoulders are apart, your shoulder blades are apart, and they're not able to retract. So make sure you can get your upper back and your shoulders into a good position before you start messing around with this movement. Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set up this barbell so it's about my armpit height. This is a great position to get set up and get the hips and legs underneath the barbell before you unrack it. If you prefer to go higher or lower, that's up to you, but find out what works. For hand distance, hands are going to be just wide enough so they clear my shoulders. Again, check this out in our front rack video. For me, my hands are going to be about a quarter to a half inch into the knurling on both sides. That's the rough part of the barbell. I'm going to wrap my thumb and fingers around because now I know that I'm centered on that bar. Place my feet shoulder width directly underneath the bar. My wrists are straight, they're not bent back. As I grip it tight, I'm going to pull my shoulder blades together. I'm going to take in my belly breath. I'm going to push my hips back as I keep my shoulders together. I'm going to row that bar into my shoulders, rotating those elbows forward, sinking down, bending at the knees and hips. From here, I'm going to, as I sit that barbell on top of my shoulders, I'm going to extend the knees and hips, unrack the barbell, take 2 steps back. I'm going to show you this from the side for the purpose of the video. I'm going to allow my elbows to come down so that weight's still resting above my chest, just in front of my shoulders, but now my elbows are directly underneath the barbell and my forearms are vertical. We want to avoid having the forearms angle backwards or having the elbows behind the wrists. Rather, we want to have them directly underneath them or slightly in front of them. From this position, my feet are going to be about hip width apart. I'm going to squeeze my glutes to lock my hips and lower back in place. I'm going to take in a nice deep belly breath. From here, I'm going to extend the barbell overhead, locking those arms out until the arms are in line with my ears. Then I'm going to return back to the front rack position under control and repeat. Once I'm done, bring it back up to that front rack position. Take this two steps back into the rack, hit those J hooks, sit back down and release. That's how you do a barbell overhead press.